guys, it's Miss G. Welcome to Stretching 101. This simple chat with you, my TED Talk, is just to make sure you understand the three major types of stretching, how to hold your body in proper postural alignment so that you can do your stretches correctly, and then just to do a little sample of some good stretches with you. Following this, I want you to go and try my dancer stretch. That stretch is a lot more in depth, a lot more labor intensive, meaning you're gonna sweat, you're gonna feel it, and when you're done, trust me, you're gonna feel great. But you need to know the basics before you take it on. So let's get started. I'm gonna go ahead and have a seat on my mat. You can have a seat on the floor, anywhere you like to feel comfortable, and I wanna talk to you about the three different kinds of stretching. There are a lot of different kinds, but these are the three major kinds, starting with number one, ballistic. Ballistic stretching involves bouncing. So it's the idea that we're heating the body through motion while pressing through a stretch. You may have done it in a dance class, in gym, in an aerobics class, something like that. So let's say you're in a straddle and the teacher, the instructor, has you going like this. Yeah, or a reach for the toes. Or maybe holding in a butterfly. Those are all examples of a ballistic stretch. I have a major rule in my class, which is ballistic equals bouncing equals bad. Ballistic is bouncing is bad. So let me explain. Is it bad? Well, it's not the worst. This is how I grew up learning how to stretch, and I'm super flexible. So okay, if you go through a ballistic stretch and you bounce, so I'm coming here and I'm bouncing forward, is it going to make me more flexible? Sure, but it's gonna make me more flexible just for that little time period of gym or of dance class, or of, if my coach has me do that before we get into a game, something like that. So the reason that I say ballistic is bad is because it's not really gonna help you long term. It's a short, quick fix. So if you have a gym teacher or a coach or a dance teacher that has you doing ballistic stretching, please don't go to them and say, Miss G told me that was bad. It's just, for me, not really the best form. It's not necessary. It's gonna push your muscles in and out of exertion. They keep bouncing back and forth, bouncing back and forth. So my hip flexors are like, I'm open, I'm closed, I'm open, I'm closed. Okay, they'll get a little warm, right? But they're not gonna stay that way. So for me, ballistic equals bouncing equals bad. One last example. Imagine you have a rubber band and you take it and you ballistically stretch it. Boop, 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 boop. When you're done, is it any bigger? Is it any more stretched out? No. And that's the basic principle behind ballistic stretching. There are two more forms I want to go over, and these are the ones that I love and that I promote and use daily. The first one is dynamic stretching. So I'm going to ask you to come sit in a butterfly position and place your hands near your ankles. Why not the toes? Because you're going to do this. You're going to crank on them and you're going to try to laterally flex your ankles, and I don't need you to do that. I just want you to relax. So place them right there near the ankles and not on the toes. Rise on up, round your shoulders back and down, draw your core tight, exhale and hold your center. So that should have taken a little bit of pressure off your back. A dynamic stretch is one that keeps flowing and keeps moving. So we're going to go through a butterfly dynamic stretch right now by flowing and moving. So follow along with me. You're going to press a flat back forward for 4 counts in 5, 6, 7, 8. Go 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Round over 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Contract, pull your spine to the back and 2 and 1. Roll up, head is last, and 3 and 2. Take it in reverse, contract, and 3 and 2 and 1. Round over 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Flat back, chest up, look out, and 2 and 1. And rise up 4 and 3 and 2. Right arm reaches 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. It circles front and 3 and 2 and 1. It opens left and 3 and 2 and 1. It opens up and 3 and 2 and 1. So we keep moving. That's a dynamic stretch. Moving the body means warming the body, and one of the main reasons we stretch is to warm up the body so that it's more malleable, so that it can move. Warming up the body, you can think of like holding a piece of taffy. If you've heard of saltwater taffy, like you can get at the Jersey Shore, if you hold a piece of taffy, you can kind of move it and stretch it. But if you take that piece of taffy and you warm it up, you place it in between your hands and we do this. Even if you're doing this without a piece of taffy, like right now, go ahead and do it. You feel that heat. It's warming up. When that taffy's warm, then what happens? It stretches even further and your body's the same. That is the purpose of a dynamic stretch, to warm the body. Another example of a dynamic stretch is rolling. So we're gonna go ahead and roll starting with our head. We're gonna roll it to the right 8 counts in 5, 6, 7, 8. We roll 1, 2, 3, 4. Shoulders stay down 5, 6, 7, and 8. To the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looking up, we roll the shoulders back for 4, 3, 2. And we roll into the front, 4, 3, 2. We're gonna roll the rib cage to the front, side, back, side again, front, side, back. 2 times to the left, front, side, back, side, and front, side, back, and side. Another example of rolling would be the wrists. And of course, let's extend our legs to the front, sitting up, hands at your side, rotating and rolling through the ankles, taking them outward. You can hear mine likes to crack on command, and inward. Another sign of a dancer. We can crack pretty much everywhere. And release, shake it loose. Sit any way that makes you comfortable. So that's another example of a dynamic stretch, rolling. Anytime we're flowing and moving, we're warming up the body dynamically. Once you've done a really good dynamic stretch, it's time to do a really good static stretch. Now, not that we've done a lot here today, but once you go ahead and finish this video, you'll go to the dancer stretch video. You'll be super warm before you get into any static stretching. So static means stay. Simply means we hold it. Now, when I grew up, we did lots of bouncing and ballistic stretching. We also did a lot of static stretching before we began to dance. But as time goes on, as science improves and technology improves, that includes body technology. We've learned in the dance and fitness world that static stretching is best done after you dance, when you are fully warm. We don't always have time for that in school. So those of you that are in dance 3 and 4, maybe your teacher has done static stretching with you in the beginning of class. It might be because time is money and we don't get that much time with you every day. But since we're learning virtually for now, you have all the time in the world at home to go ahead and get your body warm, which you can do through dynamic stretching or simple cardio. You can do jumping jacks, high knees, jogging in place, butt kicks, jogging in place. Any aerobic activity that's gonna warm up your body. Maybe even just a 10-minute walk around the block. Once your body's warm, it's time for static stretches where we stay and we hold. So I'm gonna ask you to gently bring yourself to all fours. And we're gonna go ahead and do some static stretches for our back. So you're gonna bring your chin to your chest and you're gonna draw your core nice and tight and you're gonna lift your spine towards the ceiling. Feel your shoulder blades separate and maybe sit back just a little. You're gonna hold here and you're gonna give me 4 nice deep inhale, exhales. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And release, come to a neutral spine. You may have noticed that by the 3rd or 4th breath, your body stretched just a little bit further. So once our body's nice and warm, that's when we do our static stretch to hold, because chances are that's the best time that our body will push further and we can develop our flexibility. Let's go ahead and take that in opposition by dropping the shoulders, lifting the chest and head, dropping the stomach, lifting through the pelvic, through the glutes right here, yeah? Making a nice arch in the back, slight gaze upward. Take 2 deep inhale, exhales. 1, and 2. And release. You might have noticed when you were exhaling that you could feel your stomach drop further and your arch increasing right there, yeah? So you'll notice when you do a static stretch, The more that you do it and you breathe through the stretch and hold it properly, the further you'll get into your flexibility. Let's go ahead and walk our hands back, sitting on our knees. We're gonna take the leg that's in the back and we're gonna lift as if we're going to ask someone to marry us right here in proposal position. From here, take your hands, place them on your thighs, and you're gonna take this foot and you're gonna lengthen it and hop it back while bending down. Notice I didn't say you're gonna push forward because your knee should not come by your toe. Your knee should stay in alignment with your ankle. By keeping it in alignment with your ankle and just sitting in here, you get that hip flexor stretch. So we're just gonna sit here and hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're gonna switch positions by sitting back, flexing that front foot, lifting our arms, lengthening and leaning forward. You should feel this in your hamstring. Go ahead and hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and switch it out, taking that front leg, bringing it into that proposal position, and of course, lengthening deeply through the back leg, adjusting the body as you need to sink down in, holding the upper body in proper alignment right there in the center, knee over the ankle, not coming forward, because when you come forward, you're going with the stretch, and we always want to push in opposition, so let's drop down and hold it. 4, 3, feeling that hip flexor open up. 2, and 1. Go ahead and gently release, flex that front foot, lengthen those arms, and drop it forward. Feeling it in the hamstring, in the back of the leg for 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release. Go ahead and sweep that leg behind, flex the toes onto the ground, lift your tailbone up, and send your energy back into your heels. Now, this is a downward dog in yoga. If this doesn't work for you the same way it does for me with straight legs, you can go ahead and soften your knees right here. From this position, I want you to take your hands, walk them back towards your feet, and then release and roll up slowly, articulating vertebrae by vertebrae. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Anytime I ask you to get up from the ground as a dancer, I always want you to get up by making the head last, rolling up. That way we come up properly, we avoid getting dizzy. All right, last thing on the list today, postural alignment. Take your hands like little Lego people and place it right there on your hips. Sometimes when you stand up straight, you feel like this, but you actually look like this or like this. So let's explore that together. Let's make sure that we can feel ourselves solidly on our feet by swaying front and back. Feel the shift in your weight. You can lift your toes a little bit and back, and the same thing side to side by letting the hips go just a little bit. Yeah, maybe taking it in a circle. Feeling your weight as you move it around, feeling how it distributes, and then centering it where you feel it evenly. Feeling the balls of the feet, the heels of the feet, maybe fanning out the toes. Round your shoulders back and down, lift the chest, chin stays level, draw that belly button to the spine, breathe out, holding your center, and keep the knees soft, meaning don't lock them, just keep them soft. From here, I want you to arch your back as far as you can. Do you feel the pressure on your thumbs? Yeah, feel that pressure? Now go in opposition, tucking under, contracting, and feel some of that pressure in the fingers in the front. Now, go to where you feel that pressure evenly. This is your neutral postural alignment. This is where you want to feel your body before you engage in any standing stretch. So for instance, a flat back stretch to the front. I'm gonna take my arms out like the Horton method by bringing them up next to my ears and dropping my shoulders down. I'm gonna draw my core tight. I'm gonna disengage at the hips so that I'm folding forward from the hips and not from my back, and I'm gonna lead with my chest. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now freeze and take a slight gaze upward at me. Your arms should be right next to your ears. If they're here, chances are your back looks like this and not this, so you might wanna re-lift your body and see where you go for your flat back. Let's try it one more time. Deep breath in. And 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release. So if you work from your proper postural alignment, you'll avoid things like this. And like this, by holding the body where it belongs, in between those fingertips where you feel it evenly, you'll stretch properly and not lose the benefit of the stretch. So now that you've learned your proper postural alignment, ballistic stretching, bouncing, bad, dynamic stretching, flowing, warming, and static stretching, staying or holding, you're ready for the dancer's stretch. Go ahead and check out that dancer stretch video. Do it and give me some feedback. Let me know what you felt in your body, what was easy, what was difficult, and what you may have learned about yourself through that stretch. Have a great day, you guys. I will see you again soon.